Selamat sejahtera and good day to Doctor and my fellow classmates. Today, we are going to present on our industrial vending machine.
Our industrial vending machine is made up of three main compartments. First is the CPU section, which contains the main processor of the entire machine that manage the data of dispensing and refilling process, as well as controlling the entire system of the machine. Secondly is the electromagnetic door section, or EM section for short. It uses an electromagnetic door mechanism to store and dispense item to the user. Lastly is the vending conveyor section, which use a horizontal conveyor mechanism to deliver the item to the user. That was the brief illustration about our industrial vending machine. Now let us dive into the process of dispensing and refilling of the machine.
Firstly, when a user approaches the vending machine, they must have an employee identification card and scan it on the keycard scanner. After that, the LCD will light up with option to dispense or to refill. So if you want to get something from the vending machine, make sure to press dispense and look for the item that you want from the list shown in the LCD. After that, key in the exact number of items that you want and press confirm. The compartment containing your item will light up. If the compartment is located at the electromagnetic section, the compartment will light up and the electromagnetic door will open, so that you can take the item directly from there. However, the user need to return back the plastic box into the respective compartment and close the door in order to close the system. In order to prevent from the thief and dishonesty, the plastic box is attached with an RFID code so it can be detected by the sensor below it, which if the user fails to return the plastic box, the system will send a warning message to the human resource department. And then the sensor also functions as a weight sensor, which if the user takes more or less than the number of items key in, the sensor will sense the weight difference when placing back the plastic box. And another warning message will be sent to the human resource department. Next, if the compartment is located at the vending section, the horizontal conveyor mechanism will start moving until the item is dropped into the drop area, which is layered with foam or padding. The drop item will be sensed by the infrared sensor. The item is dropped, the horizontal conveyor mechanism will stop moving immediately after the sensing process, and the electromagnetic door at the drop area will open. After taking the dispensed item, you need to make sure that to close the electromagnetic door in order to close the system.
For the refilling process, the EM section has about the same step with the dispensing. After scanning the ID card, press refill, key in the exact number to refill, and then the electromagnetic door will open. After that, we just need to refill the item into the plastic box and return the plastic box into its original position. And finally, just close the door to close the system. The vending section is also similar to the EM section. After scanning the ID card, press refill, key in the exact number to refill, and then the big electromagnetic door will open also. And we just need to pull out the horizontal conveyor, which is attached to the epoxy slider, and after that just refill the items into the compartments and push back the horizontal conveyor to close the system, and the refilling process is finished. The number of items will be detected by the corresponding weight determined by the load cell attached in the horizontal conveyor. This machine also can restrict users to dispense certain items. If your employee status or level does not meet the requirement set by the admin, then you cannot dispense certain items. This machine also keeps track of the number of items in it, linking back to the main database of the company. These features give the administrator more control over the stock count and the accessibility of the vending machine. In case of power outage, the electromagnetic part of the electromagnetic door will turn into a permanent magnet, disabling anyone from accessing. However, if you have the keys, you can open the door of the CPU section and press the emergency button to turn off the magnets so that you can retrieve the items inside.
Let us look deeper into the horizontal conveyor mechanism. The motor beneath the conveyor powers and turns the conveyor belt. As the motor is spinning, the kinetic energy will be transferred to a sprocket and chain structure by spinning it. Then, the kinetic energy will then be transferred to the roller connected to the conveyor belt. Therefore, the motion generated will move the conveyor belt forward and pushing the item fall off the conveyor belt. The horizontal conveyor is constructed using a motor to move the conveyor belt, two shells to protect the side of the structure and act as a housing for the components, the chain and sprocket to transfer the kinetic energy from the motor to the roller, two rollers to spin the conveyor belt, a load cell to detect the weight placed on the system, a conveyor belt to place the items, and a cover to prevent the conveyor belt steps to come in contact with other surfaces. The main material that is used to make this industrial vending machine is stainless steel. Only the plastic box is made of plastic. The windows are made of Lexan, which is a common strong transparent material used in making vending machines, and the conveyor belt is made of rubber silicone. Why do we choose to use stainless steel for most of our components? It is because stainless steel is strong, resistant to corrosion, high tensile strength, temperature resistance, easy formability, and fabrication. Lexan is thermoplastic material. It is used because it is tough, dimensionally stable, heat and flame resistant. The conveyor belt uses rubber silicone because it has high elasticity, heat resistance, and chemical stability.
Now, let us look at the structural analysis of the industrial vending machine. The main bodies of the CPU, EM, and vending sections are created using the sheet metal tool in SolidWorks. The CPU section is only made out of one layer of 10mm sheet metal. However, the other two sections are made out of two layers of 10mm sheet metal. Since this is a design that is most likely being put in a factory setting, we use a thick sheet of metal to make it more structurally strong and sound. Two layers of metal sheet are used to provide the section with a more sturdy and stronger structure as they store the items that needed to be dispensed. For the two layers of metal sheet, the end of the metal sheets are connected with one another using the rivet pin connectors to provide extra stability and to prevent the structure from crumbling into itself after placing the items into them. The main dimensions of industrial vending machine are 2,966 mm of length, 1,000 mm of width, 1,900 mm of height. The CPU section is 800 mm of length, 1,000 mm of width, 1,900 mm of height. The EM section is 1,050 mm of length, 1,000 mm of width, 1,900 mm of height. The vending section is 1,116 mm of length, 1,000 mm of width, 1,900 mm of height. The width and the height of each section is the same to make things look symmetrical and fit things together easily. The slight variation of the length is due to the size and number of items that need to be put inside. In the CPU section, there is only the need to fit in the LCD, keycard scanner, and processor. In the vending section, small items are put in a conveyor slot. In the EM section, the large or medium items are put into the plastic boxes respectively, with the heaviest item at the bottom and the lightest item at the top. At the side of the support structure and the body there are rounded square cut out. This is to let the wiring pass through each section with ease. To compensate for the loss in the structural integrity, we drill more holes for riveting the structure into place, distributing the extra force to the extra rivets. Most of the fixed structures are connected using the steel rivets because steel rivets are the strongest and most durable connectors for fixed structures.
The slider support system is used in the EM section, mainly to separate the compartments and also to withstand the heavy objects stacked onto it, as the design distributes the weights evenly throughout the system. It can withstand the weight of 60 to 80 kg. On the other hand, the epoxy slider support system is used in the vending section. The horizontal conveyor system is attached to a part of the epoxy slider and is then later slid into another part of the epoxy slider, which is fixed in the vending section. The usage of wheels eases the pulling of the horizontal conveyor and also distributes the weight evenly throughout the epoxy slider support system effectively. It can withstand the weight with the range of 50 to 70 kg, including the horizontal conveyor. For the electromagnetic door structures attached to the body, there is a small gap between them because it allows the opening and closing motion of the door. The electromagnetic doors are designed using a sandwich formation, in which the outermost shell is the outer door, then the Lexan glass, then the inner door, stacked as a sandwich. All of those are attached together using rivet pins. The vending door chute is designed to catch items when falling without breaking them. Padding is added to the drop zone. It is made by thin sheets of metal to lessen the burden on the EM door. The placement of the chute is fitted at the drop range of the items so that the items will not fall off. Inside the chute, there is an infrared sensor which detects items falling to stop the conveyor from moving and opening the drop door for the item retrieval process. Here is the final PDS, which is put in the table form. This is the end of our presentation. Thank you so much for listening.